So let's just look at the different types of blogs. We have personal blogs, and these are the type of blogs that talk just about anything, like unique experiences, opinions, personal embarrassments, and so forth. In this kind of blog, you're the star of the show, where your personality is what draws readers in. So it's a personal blog, back to diary, talking about yourself, what you think, how you feel, what you went through. Okay, and the pros to these kind of blogs is that it's easier to find topics. I mean, because you're literally just talking about your life. You can have a unique voice, and you don't need much rules, so it's not too formal. There's no strict guideline. You just type as you think. But some of the cons are that without flair, excitement, or feeling, it's really easy for your content to fall flat and just not be interesting at all. I've actually been invited to follow a couple of people's blogs, and I found myself so many times just getting bored. And it's not that the topic is not interesting, it's just that their personalities don't really come through in their blogs. And I can tell you that these are the type of bloggers that actually struggle to build an audience or readership. Okay, so you find that for some people, worrying you to read their blogs every day is probably because no one else is reading it, and now you're just the only and ultimate reader. Okay, and another thing is that it can get a bit difficult to find like-minded readers if you're not a very conventional type of person. So the next one is niche. Niche blogs are blogs that focus on a particular topic or field, and this is usually something someone is very passionate about. Some examples would be a blog that focuses on like a home cooked recipe, for instance, or one that finds like cheap ways to travel, or a blog that advises people or shows people how to dress stylishly. So you kind of pick a niche. It's about finding your favorite hobby or your passion, and sticking to it. Just finding that little niche and just focusing on that one point, and not speaking about too many things, but just focusing on that niche that you have targeted and chosen for yourself. Okay, so the pros with the niche type of blog is that it's easier to reach a specific target audience because you're so specific. You're literally just like, if I'm talking about shoes, I'm talking about shoes. And then even if you're more specific, I'm talking about certain type of shoes, for instance, it's going to be so much more easier to attract people and to target your audience. It's also very easy to monetize because of that. Much more easier to monetize. I'll give you an example. If you have a niche blog and your niche blog focuses on gadgets, for instance, just maybe phone gadgets or phone accessories, you stand a greater chance of having a partnership with a company that is in the phone industry, smartphone industry. Because if you are speaking about 100 different things, it makes it very difficult for an advertiser or a potential partner to want to work with you. Okay, so being quite niche makes it very easy to monetize. It's also easier to rank in SEO or to find on Google, like I explained earlier. SEO, the more niche you are in your blog, the easier it is for people to find you and for your rankings to increase online. Some of the cons is that, I mean, your content can get limited, and you're going to have to be really, really creative on how you're going to produce more and more contents regarding that particular topic or field. And you also need to have some kind of knowledge or experience of your niche. Because it will be such a focused blog, you're gonna need to know something or have some kind of experience of it. Okay, and then next we have collaborative blogs or guest blogs. This is for someone who can't handle or doesn't want to create too much content by themselves, so they can get a guest blogger to help, which will also bring their traffic, that particular blogger's traffic, to your blog. You need to be very careful with this one, because if that guest blogger isn't too good, you can lose your audience. So do make sure that when you collaborate with other bloggers, you collaborate with the right bloggers. Okay. The pros to this type of blog is that you don't have to produce content alone. So, producing content is quite a bit of work. So it helps in that regard. And it's easier to grow your online audience, because where you were just trying to push on your own, you have other people bringing their audiences to you as well. Some of the cons is that it does take effort to convince guest bloggers to help, and I'm talking about good guest bloggers with a proper following. And on the other hand, not every guest blogger is good, so just be careful about that. The next type of blogs is business blogs. So if you own a business, or you're a brand, and you're currently making money or looking for ways to make money, having a blog on your business website will attract more customers. And I'm gonna speak about that a bit more on our case study, because blogging is such a beneficial tool for businesses, especially if you're a small business and you're trying to get yourself out there. So some of the pros is that you can gain more customers, and that you can have insight into your customers' behavior. And some of the cons is that you need to have a business. You need to really have something that's already there. Blogging is literally an add-on feature or an add-on strategy for you to actually increase sales. And with a business blog, you need to understand that bad content can put your credibility at stake. So content needs to be stellar. It needs to be approved by your business's industry standards, for instance. And it's not as free or informal as other types of blogs. Okay, so another type of blog is a podcast blog. And this is the exact same thing as a blog, but it's just audio. So it's all about formats in this regard. This is an audio type of blog. So instead of you writing, you can record yourself. Think radio in terms of how you would speak, and make what you're talking about interesting and attractive. Okay, so listening to blogs do actually take less time than reading an article, and listeners can also get to enjoy your content while partaking in other activities. So that's a great plus for podcast blogging. Some of the pros is that it takes less time to make a podcast than it takes to write, which is pretty much inevitable and straightforward. It's also easier for your audience to enjoy your content. Some of the cons is that you really do need good equipment, and good equipment can be very expensive. You need to be able to also use audio editing software to create something of quality. The next type of the next type of blog is called the freebies blog. And these are blogs that give out a lot of free stuff, like PDFs, software, MP3 files or music, templates, ebooks, and so forth. And I mean, you can imagine why there'd be a lot of blogs that give out a lot of free things. One of the pros is that it's a great way, a great way to collect a list of audiences' emails. So if you really want to collect emails, offer something for free and let the person give you their details in exchange for what you're going to give them, for the PDF you're going to give them, or for the template you're going to give them, or for the ebook you're going to give them on a particular field or topic. Okay. So it's really good to grow your list, and it gives your content much more merit. On the downside though, it does take a lot of time. To come up with all this content, and you're gonna really have to know what you're writing about, what you're talking about, in order to give somebody something of value. Okay, the other type of blog is the teacher's blog, or I would sometimes say educational blogs. Blogs that teach or show people things. For example, how to fix a tire, things that help people with like everyday problems. And there are a lot of blogs like this. The pros of these type of blogs is that people are searching on how to do things every single day, and it's actually ranked really high on Google Trends. Google Trends is basically a tool, a Google tool that you can actually go to see what actually trends on Google. What are the questions that people are typing in? What are the things that people are looking for? If you go onto Google Trends, you can see that stuff. The cons of this is really stiff competition. A lot of people are trying to learn and understand things online these days. But at the same time, there's a lot of people who are offering content. So it's a very stiff competition. And it can take some time, a little bit more time and investment than other blogs. Okay, the next type of blog is the counterculture blog. So these are one of those blogs where you're either going to absolutely love it or you're just gonna hate it completely. The reason being is because they actually grab so much attention because they are very controversial. So they thrive off controversy because their standpoint is usually very unconventional and different. So they usually do have a lot of haters and have to put up with a lot of haters and a lot of critique. But I mean, it does grab a lot of attention at the same time. So the pros is that it's very easy to attract attention, very easy. But the cons is that it can get very awkward and alienating. For example, blogs that talk about being black and queer, for instance, it is just not common enough to. It can really just tick some people off, turn some people on, but also just it's just a very weird conversation to have. So yeah, those are counterculture blogs. Then you have news blogs. And I mean, my word, news blogs attract great attention and big audience. But it's not simple because you always need to be factual. You need to have some journalism basics and always keep up with the news of the field that you're in. So you basically have to be a reliable source. I think that's the only thing about news blogs that can get a bit challenging, but it's a great way to attract a very big audience because everybody needs to know what's going on. Okay. The next type of blog is professional blog, and this is it hasn't been a really common type. It hasn't really been a common type of blog, but it is gaining some traction. It really is gaining some traction now. So you can just think of maybe a resume or a CV type of thing, but just a little bit more creative. So you can use your blog as a CV or professionally. Basically, you produce content to showcase what you're capable of, your expertise and credibility. Okay, so the pros of these type of blogs is that your blogs definitely boost your chances of landing a job. Some of the cons is that it may fail to be effective if you lack experience and skills. So if you're gonna do a professional type of blog, just make sure you really have something legitimate to put on there in terms of expertise, skills, and just even portfolio or samples of your work. Then we have lifestyle blogs, and these blogs focus on the interests and activities of your daily life. So you'd include things like home, family, beauty, travel, spiritual, design, recipes, etc. It literally encompasses all aspects of your life. So you're really going to need to have quite an interesting life if you really want to have really good audience. And it like relies heavily on personality and authenticity. Like that is just the secret to a really good lifestyle blog. Okay, and it is definitely one of the most popular types of blogs. So where the other blogs are trying to fit into this mold, I think lifestyle blogs just allows you the freedom to just be, and you're just like documenting your life, and you're just, but you need an interesting life, like I said, and you need to have personality and just be authentic. Okay, and the last type of blogs, we call them vlogs. So remember at the beginning I said blog is a combination of web and log. Vlog, on the other hand, is a combination of video blog or video and log. Okay, so again, just like the podcast blogs, this is a matter of format. Same thing as a blog, but just shown through the format of a video. Okay, you think vlog immediately YouTube, because YouTube is literally what's YouTube is like the platform to actually share your blogs on. It's like the platform, the number one platform. But there are other platforms. But right now, we're gonna focus more on YouTube. Okay. And I mean, look at it this way: traditional TV shows, traditional TV. Okay, it's kind of like a version, an online version of watching TV. Okay, it's only better, like in my opinion, because you can watch a YouTube video or vlog on any device at any time and for as many times as the viewer wants. Okay, another thing is that as a one-man show, it gives you full creative control. So actually, vlogging is classified as independent media. And another reason why I like it and I think it's better is because of engagement. I mean, interaction and engagement from those who are watching. They can comment in real time, even if you wanted, if you were recording something live. So that's another benefit and a plus for vlogging. But I mean, you definitely need to consider things like Wi-Fi, internet connection, having a PC or a laptop with a webcam, or having a video camera, just having some really cool editing techniques, you know. Yeah, these are some of the things you really need to consider when you start a vlog. Some interesting facts I can just share with you is that, for instance, YouTube actually awards their vloggers, their YouTube vloggers, which is really cool. It's separated into silver, gold, and diamond. So if you have 100,000 followers, you get a silver reward. If you have a million subscribers, you get a gold reward. And if you have 10 million, you get a diamond reward. So as your subscription numbers increase, you're actually being rewarded for it on YouTube. And this is apart from YouTube actually paying you for ad views. This is just like YouTube encouraging you to get as many subscribers as possible on your channel, and it's literally going to reward you for that. And yeah, on the other hand, YouTube also pays you. YouTube starts paying you from 1,000 views. Actually, from below 1,000 views, they can't pay you. But usually you count it in like batches of 1,000 views. So look at it this way: you're gonna post a video on YouTube once, right? And over time, that video is going to gain more and more views. Over a week, it's going to gain a certain number. Over a month, it's going to gain a certain number. Over a year and over years, it's going to gain a certain number. In fact, it will continuously gain numbers for as long as it's there, right? So you can imagine that you are actually getting paid as time goes by for the number of views that your particular video gets. Okay, so you keep getting paid, and I think that is a huge plus. And one of the ways that vloggers are actually making money. Another interesting thing about vlogging is there's something called Shorty Awards, and they recognize and award individuals and organizations. So that's like your influencers, your businesses, and so forth, for producing great content on any social media platform. So be it Facebook, we're talking about videos here. So we Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Oh my word! And like most, I think TikTok as well is there. Yeah. So in most social media platforms, they actually award you. There's like an awards. I think the next one is actually going to be announced in May, actually, like literally, yeah, around the corner, May. So actually, like if you're just producing like really really cool content, you can get awarded for that. So that's another plus. So let's look at some examples of some blogs. I just want to test you guys here quickly. Just I'm gonna put up a blog, a screenshot of a type of blog, and I just want you to guess from what I've just discussed with you on the different types of blog, what type of blog this could possibly be. So the one right in front of us now is a blog called Hannah Gale, and I mean obviously Hannah Gale is the blogger, and she has blog posts on addiction to chasing success, what she wore to her boyfriend's graduation, 7 things she's glad she did in her early 20s, 11 fashion and beauty tips she wishes she had known sooner, and she loves her pregnant body but she hates dressing it. Okay, so this is a blog, and what type of blog would we categorize this under, considering everything that we see here? Definitely a lifestyle blog. Okay, we have a person who is sharing personal experiences, but she's also sharing different aspects of her life, and different things that she's doing on a daily basis, and she's giving tips. So you can see that there's a combination of so many different things going on. So this is a lifestyle blog. So what about this blog? Here we have an actionable marketing expert, Heidi Cohen, and she's giving tips. I mean, 5 tips you need now, blogging fundamentals for business. Yeah, she's linked her, so she's plugged in her social media on the side there. She's got some articles. You can follow her on Instagram. Wow, she's got 10.3k followers. She has a newsletter. She even has advertising on it, which is awesome. So what kind of blog would we say this is? If you thought professional, you're right. This is a professional blog. So she is using the blog to gain credibility and market herself as a really great marketing expert, and also to share information and knowledge in her field. And then we have another one here, and this is the one I will use for a case study to just show you how awesome blogging is. So this is River Pools, and this is a business blog. Okay, and this is a business which clearly installs swimming pools. It has testimonials there. It has contact gallery to see some of the pools that they've done. And yeah, so this is a business blog, a business that already exists, and they've added a blog section to their site. So I just want to talk a bit about River Pools because it's such an awesome case study, just in terms of what blogging means, so basically River Pools is a company that installs pools and hot tubs, okay, throughout I think it's Virginia in the US. Yeah, so they install pools and hot tubs, and the company at the very beginning was struggling quite a bit because they had these large manufacturers as their competitors, and it was, how difficult it can get for a small business to compete, especially online, with huge competitors. Okay, so initially they spent quite a bit of money on advertising, and I'm going to speak particularly about Marcus, one of the owners of this company, and he spends quite a bit of money on advertising, and the way things were going, it really was on the brink of failure. But the interesting thing is that Marcus actually changed his mentality and his online approach to his business. He went from being a pool company to being a content marketing company, right? So the goal was to give valuable, helpful content, so that's like advice and knowledge, etc., about pools, um, about what they do and about pools than anyone else in their field. Okay, so that is quite unique. So they started a blog. The first blog post was, how much is it to install a fiberglass? Do you know that the post in itself, when they assist, um, basically measured the results of the post itself brought in $2.5 million in sales. And at this point, the business was generating about $5 million per year. They were shocked. They were like, this works. And they kept publishing. And the more they published, the more stuff they put on the blog, more customers came to them. And they were publishing like 1 to 3 times a week. Okay, he even created an ebook called How to Buy a Pool Without Getting Ripped Off. It's about value here, because he even went to different to other pool companies, and he reviewed them, and he reviewed different things about them. And it's not like he was like, okay, no, River Pools is the best because it's his company. He actually just excluded River Pools and said, you know what, I'm just gonna honestly review other pool companies, you know. So what happened here? What happened? Because they are doing very, very well, and they are a case study that is used a lot in content marketing. What happened is that they gave, and you know the principle of giving, the more you give, the more you receive. They gave value, they gave content, they gave something to people that the other businesses and their competitors were not doing. Okay, so that built a lot of trust, and that drew a lot of attention, because remember, SEO rankings, just think of the different things that I spoke about during this lesson, and they're doing really, really, really well. So this is just a case study to prove that the actual blog in itself actually brought in sales. And this is why we say blogging is so important for your small business. And this is why we're saying that blogging